Congrats to you both on the win. Kayla, congrats on the All-Star nod.
Thank you.
Last week or so, you've had players and coaches, advocating for you to be added to the game. It's now that it's official, just how meaningful is it to have that second consecutive All-Star appearance with the Lynx, and also how much fire does it make to get to go into the weekend with a win here at home?
Yeah, it's an honor. I'm very fortunate for this group and this organization. It is different here, just the camaraderie and the chemistry and the love that I have for the people in our locker room, my teammates, the coaching staff. And so that we get to all do this together, Cheryl, the coach, and then Fee and Court and T, our fellow stud buzz. So it's just really cool to just do it together because that's what the season's about. That's why we go, to represent each other. And so that it's really special. And like I said, as you get older, they get a little bit more special because you never know how many, you're going to get. When you're 23, you don't think like, oh, this might be my last one, but when you're 33, you do. So I am just really fortunate, and I just have a lot of love for this organization, for believing in me, Cheryl. And so to be able to do it alongside them, it's really, really special for me, for sure. So I'm excited.
Last year, you and Fee had to be on opposite sides.
Yeah.
You get Fee, you get Court, and Cheryl. How much fun is that going to be to have all four of you on the same side of it?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling. Obviously, I'm used to being on their side of the bench, so it makes it a lot easier. But it's just the joy, like I said, and just the love that we have for one another. And we go to war every day for each other, with each other. And so to be able to kind of have this inflection point of, all right, we're all here at the All-Star game together, and having the great season that we're having, while also keeping the main thing the main thing. It's just a cool inflection point, I think, for our organization, and then just our leader and Cheryl. It's cool. Like, obviously I would much rather be on Fee's team than against her. Fee and Court for sure. Cool.
And for you, Jess, coach was in here talking about the effort for the second unit, specifically the rebounding areas, but and just how you on the floor can be that presence down low, but also a facilitator, and just how much you make your teammates better. Just going against a team like Phoenix, which has a lot of size and strength down low, to out rebound and win that battle. Just how key was the effort in that area tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think our bench, we're a close-knit group and we all stick together. We know that we kind of rely on each other for how long we're going to be out there. So we've just built a trust with each other. And obviously, Coach is growing in her trust in us. So the one thing we want to make sure every time we come out there is that we bring energy. Obviously the starting group has to play a lot of minutes and, they can get tired. So we want to make sure that we kind of change the pace when we're in the game. And I think today we did a great job of doing that.
And Kayla, at the All-Star this year, the WNBA is introducing the 4-point shots.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
And so are you looking forward to hitting your first 4-point attempt?
I am actually. That's actually pretty cool. I started working on my range a little bit in Unrivaled, and so hopefully Cheryl's okay with me taking a couple 4-point shots. I don't know about here, but for sure there I can get away with a little bit more there, I think, than I can here.
And then coming up with All-Star, what are you looking forward to outside of the game about the All-Star experience?
Well, it's really nice because Indianapolis is actually like a drive. It's like an easy drive for my family. They can actually drive up, which is cool. But I always enjoy being in the locker room, with players that maybe you don't get to see as much, like in their natural element, because it's a fun space. It's not, it's competitive, but it's a fun space. So being in the locker room with people like Sky and, just people that you see from afar that you still admire, and then, you just have history with and been in the locker room with. Those are always cool things. Just kind of be able to hang out with them in that natural setting instead of a competitive setting is always fun. And then, yeah, like I said, just sharing with family is always special too.
Then you were just mentioning on the rival there. I was curious with, we talked a little bit pregame before this, but just with kind of CBA things going on, that's part of All-Star Weekend. Obviously, what you think was what, Fee was able to do with Stewie with Unrivaled. I guess just at this moment when you guys are kind of, trying to prove and fight for your value.
Oh yeah, super. It's gonna put the pressure on them for sure. Just because they saw how successful Unrivaled was, and as being there and just seeing what they were able to do in such a short amount of time. And then, on the flip side, what we're asking for in the CBA, it's really impactful, and we're able to have the time at All-Star, and, I'll be there, and we're able to actually get, face to face and have these conversations, which is really important because what we're fighting for, is the trajectory of our league, and we know how important it is. And so to be able to advocate for ourselves, whether it's on the court or off the court, is always more impactful than if we're not in the room. So looking forward to having those conversations at All-Star as well.
Yeah, I guess just follow up for Jessica. Not sure if you're going there. I know we got players, going All-Star. We got players going to Vegas. Unfortunately, no chance of
Vegas.
Kinko's, but hey, yeah.
I know, I was sad about that.
But I was curious, just if you're gonna be there, and then if not, like just how comfortable and confident you feel with folks like Kayla, folks like Fee, especially going there, kind of being your voice.
Yeah, I will not be there. I will be tuned in though. I gotta support my teammates, but no, I'll be just take a break. Obviously I came straight from overseas and had Eurobasket and a lot of different things. So just kind of take a break and separate from basketball for just a few days here. But I've had a lot of conversations actually with Fee. I think you can't have a better advocate actually for the whole league. Obviously she's a star player, so the things she may consider good, maybe aren't good for the rest, but the conversations that I've had with her, she's being a great advocate for player 1 through 12. And I think that's super important. I think, in the last CBA, there was maybe some things that didn't help player 1 through 12. So I think, Fee noticed that, and I think she's doing a great job of, trying to voice for everyone.
Yeah, Jess, speaking for Fee, she had a real tough test for some comments that you got to defend for a little bit too. Was there anything that you saw from Fee that helped you when you went in to try to defend her?
Well, first off, props to Fee, to take that assignment. Obviously, we know she's the best player on the court, and she sacrificed her offense to be able to help our team get the win by playing the defense that she did on AT. I think just being physical with her. We had a different game plan the first time we played them, but Fee did a great job of being physical. Obviously, AT is a very physically gifted player, but I think Fee was able to frustrate her a bit just with her length, and yeah, I think Fee did a great job on her. Obviously, I only had a few possessions on her, so yeah, Fee did good.
Yeah, and Kayla, I wanted to ask you just one more thing on also, but yeah, your coaches and your teammates were very vocal about the fact that you did that right away. How disappointed were you at that time between the team was announced and we finally got the call? More recognized.
I was out first. I was really, really happy for Courtney because I just think that she's had an unbelievable season. Obviously, Fee is our motor, our everything. But I was really, really happy for Courtney. Like that was like my first instinctual, response. I've been in this league for like a long time, and slowly but surely it has started to become like a little bit less about basketball, more about like popularity. So I'm already aware of that. I'm 33 years old. I know my value in this league. I know my value in this team, and within them, it's enough for me. I know who I am. So for me, it's not. It's like it's nice to have the nod, but I know that I'm an all-star in this group, and so for me, it's. I was just like I was so happy, and I'm more happy about us being number one and our coaches going, our staff going, and Courtney getting her nod and things like that. Whether and now residually it comes back to me, which is great, but it is what it is. Like it's you take it on the chin, and you get back to work. If anything, it's like extra motivation for me not getting the first nod, honestly, because I know my value in this league, and and mainly I know my value for this team. So for me, it's like whatever. I'm too old to be worried about like if somebody votes me in because I know my worth.
Speaking of Courtney, did you already have Kathy's number?
Kathy actually texted me first before calling, which was very smart because it was early. But no, I did it actually. She texted me first, so that was good.
As a just you had a nice little time to watch the birthday girl. I don't know if you played with her overseas or elsewhere before, but obviously her being the newest player on this team. It's kind of how has that chemistry grown in a short time between the two of you and sort of with the rest of the group as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's grown a lot. We both want each other to be successful, which I think is super important. And obviously, we kind of play off each other very well. She's a good 3-point shooter, a good cutter. I like to pass. So I think we're developing a very good chemistry, and super excited, and happy to have her on this team. She's brought a lot for us.
And then Kayla, when Cheryl was in here, she was talking about the kind of the way you mentored Diamond from when she first got here. And just wondering if you wanted to talk a little bit more about your relationship with Diamond since she was drafted.
Yeah, it was interesting because that 2020 2022,
Yeah.
2023, when Dorky and Diamond came in together. It was rough, you know, in the beginning we started, you know, it was up and down, but we ended up becoming a playoff team. And in that time, I feel like, especially when you go to a new team, that was like my third year here, you're still trying to prove yourself. But in that moment, it like, I feel like I really changed and became a lot more selfless as a leader. With seeing Dorky and Diamond, just how hard they were working. And then now, especially with Diamond, like seeing her get her opportunities, and trying to maximize them. I see them work every single day. And I know what it is to be a young kid in this league, just trying to prove yourself. And so just being able to kind of redirect them in the right way, it's a lot of fun. Like, you know, and I think as you grow as a player and as a person, you're able to kind of see that when they maybe don't see it yet, and you can see it in themselves. And then so I think it's really impactful for me. I think especially as a leader, as a player, because you realize like just how much you've grown also, but how much you could still pour into the younger generation. And I genuinely want to see them be successful. Diamond and all the young players. Ola, every time Ola scores, it's like we go crazy, you know? And you just want to see them maximize their opportunities because that's what this league is about. And you know, I want to see it here for years to come. And players like Diamond are going to be around for a long time. So it's really cool to see her have opportunities and maximizing them because I've watched her grow from a young grasshopper, you know? And now she's flying her own wings, you know?
Obviously with the All-Star Weekend too, we have the 72-hour Stud Buds live stream.
So pumped.
Yeah, it's gonna, hey, you know.
I know I'm probably gonna sleep with T in court one of the nights, I think. So I'm really excited.
It'll be exciting. I guess like on a more serious note on that, you know, obviously a lot of it is just T and Court kind of goofing around, but what do you think is the value in that in terms of just allowing fans to kind of see another side of y'all, and then also, I mean, literally in the name, like stud buds, just like in terms of visibility and being unapologetic in themselves.
I was just talking to T about this. I just think it's so cool that they get to be themselves and they're just impacting so many people and so many fans. Obviously, we're having a great season. They both are having respectively great seasons, but then also being able to just kind of disconnect, I think is really cool, you know, and that's the world we live in. Social media is a big part of it. And so it's really cool to see them kind of use their personalities and you put it on that platform and people are enjoying it. I enjoy it. My mom, and I guess her work friends, her mom watches it like because they're just such dope people too, like just great human beings. And so that's like when I see them just kind of impacting the world and, you know, bringing a smile to people's faces. And now you see fans with their hair pink and like, you know, things like that. It's really cool because it's so much bigger than that. They're just really being themselves. And I think that's the beauty of it. They're not doing anything out of who they are every day in the locker room for us. So it's really cool for everybody to see their personalities on a bigger stage because we love our stud butts.
Just is probably like sending you stud buds clips or what?
My mom wants to be on it.
No, she's just like mentioned multiple times, like different clips from their streams. And yeah, I mean, K-Max said it great, but I think also just, you know, it shows like, okay, we are basketball players. Like, you know, we come to our job and this is our job. And, you know, we're humans outside of basketball. And I think they're doing a great job of, you know, showing that like they're authentically themselves and, you know, they can show who they are. So thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.